I wasn't gonna set up the face cam, but I figured if there is a face in the thumbnail, maybe it will get more views. Anyways, so let's get into today's trading day. Today was a very good trading day, very interesting trading day. Um, Ended up taking shorts because I had missed taking longs. Well, I didn't miss taking longs, I just chose not to take longs. So let's get into the trading day, get into the confluences for today's trade, and all the sort. If I pull up news, today we had Jolts. So we had Jolts and Consumer Confidence releasing at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So before that, price action on the higher time frames wasn't really doing much. We had this bearish or bullish daily fair value gap down here. We could have potentially seen a retracement into, however, I realized we weren't going to make a retracement into it once we looked toward the hourly, continuing to seeing us continuing to validate bullish confluence. Now going down to the 5 minute time frame, market open, we continue to validate bullish confluence, took out these internal highs, and now once we took out these internal highs, I was actually expecting us to potentially continue toward this next draw up here. I had this marked out originally, but we ended up taking that, which we did do. We took out that next internal liquidity on the higher time frames and then began to make a bearish push to the downside. Now, upon making this bearish push to the downside, now I'm going to say what I was going to say before. What was I going to say? Um, I wanted to see whether or not we would validate this opposing bearish 1 hour fair value gap. Now, once we were making this retracement down here, I was thinking, okay, potentially now is the time we are making this retracement where we're going to begin to validate it, whatever the case is. I can't talk right now. Okay, I'm fine now. But instead, we just continued to make a retracement for this bullish 15-minute fair value gap. I know it looks like a lot. I'll clean up the chart after this and make it look decent. But then we had an SMT with ES within this bullish 5 minute fair value gap. Okay, I need him to like say this simpler. It's been 2 minutes. Okay, let me reset. After taking out these internal draws, we made a retracement for a bullish PD array, multiple bullish PD arrays, and formed an SMT with ES. Now, during this time, we had also had an opposing 5 minute fair value gap right here. You can see, I know my chart looks messy because it's late in the day, but right here, we had this opposing 5 minute. And now we have these two conflicting PD arrays. I wasn't sure which one would get validated. I wanted to see the bearish one get validated with a bearish change of state of delivery back to the downside. However, we formed that SMT with ES, and I chose to not execute upon the longs toward the next internal draw, which would have looked like this for anyone that's curious. Because of that opposing 5 minute bearish fair value gap. That was really it. Was it a good trade? Yes, it was. However, price action ended up taking out these internal. Here, I'll remove this. Actually, I won't remove the SMT. Our next draw on liquidity, and if we go on ES, we took out higher time frame liquidity right here. So took out these equal highs, going back to NQ, failed to take out these highs right here, formed a higher time frame SMT, and took out that internal liquidity, then formed a change in state of delivery to the downside. Now, when all of this was happening, I actually wasn't looking to take this trade. I was scrolling on TikTok. I wasn't going to take this trade. Price action had formed this bearish fair value gap, made a retracement into it, began to look like we were going to validate it, continuing to the downside. So I was just like, you know what, whatever. But then I actually looked at the trade. I was like, wait, this is actually a pretty good trade. If we get a re-retracement back into this bearish 1 minute, I'm fine executing. I actually like what I see. I was surprised. Um, Part of me was expecting it to be a lower probability trade due to me reacting to it later. Typically, when I don't notice trades right at the moment, they're lesser probability because I'm less attentive to price action. That meant. However, I was still attentive to price action while all this was happening. I just was not expecting to try to catch on 104R. This was my exact trade entry. So, yeah. Long story short, price action formed that change of state delivery, made a retracement for it, and continue to validate it. Our take profit, our final take profit, and no, well, I'm saying final take profit like I had multiple, was right down here at the bullish 15-minute fair value gap, or these internal lows right here. What did we do? Well, continue to validate that change of state delivery. Took out our first internal draw that was 1216R. Then made a retracement for this opposing 5-minute fair value gap, 101.8. If I did go in very, very light risk. I only went in with 1 micro. So I wasn't too concerned about profit or anything. I was mainly just surprised that this trade actually was a very, very good trade. It was a very good trade. Um, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as a trade as it was. But when I analyzed the confluence right around this area, I was like, wow, this actually has potential. So if I was trading normally with, regular size, regular risk, probably would have taken off the trade position right around this 5-minute fair value gap mark. However, I wanted to see how price action will continue to react, continue to develop, and whether our bearish bias would continue to remain valid. Once we got around this point, taking out these internal lows, I set my stops to break even because we already took out internal liquidity, meaning we had potential in order to reverse. Price action consolidated for a while before eventually stopping us out with a $2 profit on the trading day. So $10 in profit. I'm going to put that in the title, I guess. But yep, if I would have continued to hold, I'm not sure what would happen. I think this potentially be a loss. Price action could reverse, taking us out, continuing higher on the trading day, invalidating that higher time frame SMT, or just consolidates until eventually dumps. Regardless, really, 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 really good trade. Could have been a generational trade. Where am I? But yeah. What else should I say? It's been 8 minutes. It's a long trade recap. Really, really good trade. I am going to go journal this trade because holy, this was a super good trade. Should I enter short again? I think I'm gonna enter short again and catch the rest of the move. I'm joking. Yeah, this was a super good trade. I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised this trade turned out the way it did. Really, 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 really good trade. Also, I wouldn't typically set stops to break even unless we take out internal liquidity. So apart from that, yeah. Okay, that's all from me. Adios. Bye.